In this video, we're going to talk about one of the worst crashes in gaming history, the IGN crash. If you don't know what it is, it's when a certain website went down for over 24 hours, but it also resulted in the loss of billions of user accounts and personal information. I'm your host, and you're watching this report. Now, even though IGN was offline for less than a day, some people felt like it was forever. And that's because they didn't have any way to check the time while the website was down, so the clock seemed to stop moving. It was like the world stood still and time ceased to exist until IGN came back up. But that got me thinking, what if IGN never came back up? In this video, we've gonna cover everything you need to know if the IGN crash was permanent and there was no coming back. That includes tips, tricks, and things you can do if IGN really did go down for good. First off, I want to say sorry if you were affected by this. It's not my fault. I tried warning everyone back in December of last year when I posted this video about how to back up your data, but there's a lot of people who didn't listen and now their account is gone. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at yourself. You had a chance to save your account, but you didn't take it. Now let's talk about why IGN went down in the first place. On December 14th, 2023, a DDoS attack took the site offline for over 24 hours. A DDoS attack is a distributed denial of service attack. Basically, you send so many requests to a server that it can't handle it and then it crashes. Now, in IGN's case, it wasn't just one person launching the attack. It was thousands of computers all around the world, which made it a lot harder to defend against. And as soon as the attack started, IGN immediately went into panic mode. They contacted their hosting provider, SitterGround, and asked them to fix it. But unfortunately, the attack was too big and there was nothing SitterGround could do about it. In fact, the only thing SitterGround could suggest is that IGN upgrade to a premium plan for $800 per month. But that wasn't going to happen. The CEO of IGN said he wasn't going to pay the ransom. He wanted to wait until the attack stopped. But unfortunately, it didn't stop for over 24 hours. And during that time, people couldn't access IGN or their accounts. And as it turns out, the reason the attackers chose IGN is because it was a cheap hosting provider. For context, most premium websites use a content delivery network called Cloudflare protects against DDoS attacks, and they actually handled this attack for free because Cloudflare and IGN have a partnership. However, the rest of IGN's infrastructure wasn't protected by so the attack bypassed their defenses and hit IGN's servers directly. Now, if IGN had used Cloudflare for everything, maybe this attack wouldn't have taken them offline for 24 hours. But since they didn't, the DDoS attack was successful and billions of user accounts were lost. Now, you may be wondering why IGN even had billions of users in the first place. Well, IGN didn't just have a gaming news website, they also had game servers, and those servers were hosting some pretty popular games like Counter-Strike, Ghost Recon, Star Trek, and Harry Potter. But that was years ago. Nowadays, they don't host any game servers. So why did they still have so many accounts? Well, the main reason is because of all the forums. IGN had hundreds of different forums with millions of threads and billions of posts, and every single one of those accounts was compromised. In fact, someone already made a database of the stolen accounts and they currently selling it on the dark web for $500,000. There's over 2.5 terabytes of data, and it includes usernames, emails, and passwords. And if that wasn't bad enough, it gets worse because the database contains over 1 billion entries and a lot of those are duplicates. But it looks like there is at least 100 million unique email addresses in there. And a lot of them are well-known companies. For example, we can see PlayStation, Nintendo, Microsoft, Epic Games, and Steam. There's also a bunch of crypto companies like Binance and Coinbase and even banks like Wells Fargo. This really makes you wonder how far the hackers will go. Are they just gone nah? Leak the data? Or are they gone nah? Sell it to the highest bidder. Maybe they'll blackmail some of these companies and demand money in exchange for the data? We just don't know. But one thing's for sure. This is one of the biggest hacks in internet history and it's probably not over yet. So now let us talk about what you should do if the IGN crash was permanent and there was no coming back. First of all, you should change your password on every single account that uses IGN as the login provider. That includes social media, email, banking, and shopping accounts. Also, make sure you use a password manager so you don't forget them. Now, if you don't have a password manager, you might want to get one because it's essential to stay safe online. A password manager is a software application that allows you to store all your passwords in one place. That way, you don't have to remember them and you only have to enter them once. Now, let's talk about what to do if your account was compromised. If your account was compromised, then you need to change your password right away. But if you don't change your password fast enough, you might miss out on an opportunity to change it yourself. Instead, the hacker might change it and lock you out of your own account. The next step is to enable two-factor authentication on every single account. Two-factor authentication is an extra layer of security that requires you to use a second device to verify your identity. That second device could be a smartphone, tablet, laptop, or even a physical security key. And if you enable two-factor authentication on every account, then even if a hacker steals your password, they won't be able to log into your accounts without the second device. Next, you should monitor your credit report. If your personal information was leaked, then it could end up in the hands of identity thieves. So it's important to monitor your credit report for any suspicious activity. You can do this by signing up for a credit monitoring service. And if you notice anything suspicious, then you should contact the credit bureau immediately. Finally, you should keep an eye on your bank accounts. If your bank account information was leaked, then you need to be on the lookout for unauthorized transactions. That means checking your bank statements on a regular basis. And if you notice anything suspicious, then you should contact your bank right away. As it turns out, being hacked isn't all that bad. Just make sure you follow these steps, and you'll be fine. And speaking of being fine, you're gonna be just fine if you stick around for another minute, because I have something special to share with you. Most people think of AI as something that's very complicated and hard to understand, but that's not true. AI is actually very simple. All you need to do is feed it a bunch of data and then ask it a question. For example, you can ask it to write a 1,000-word article about artificial intelligence. Then it spits out the article and you can read it. Now, what's really amazing is that the article actually makes sense. It's coherent and it's grammatically correct. You would think that it was written by a human being, but it wasn't. It was written by an AI. If you're interested in learning more about AI, I recommend checking out today's sponsor, Brilliant.org. It's a very hands-on approach where you learn by doing. So you start with a basic chatbot, and then you add more advanced features like natural language processing and machine learning. The course also covers some of the most important concepts in AI like decision trees, classification, and regression. By the end of the course, you'll have a good understanding of how generative AI works, and you'll be able to build your own chatbot from scratch. It's very easy to use. All you have to do is open up the website and find a course that you're interested in. In this case, we'll click on Generative AI, and then we'll click on Start Learning. The course is broken down into small, bite-sized lessons that are easy to follow along with. And after each lesson, there's a quiz to test your knowledge. So if you're interested in learning more about AI, I highly recommend checking out Brilliant.org. This has been The Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.